There is a moment in every person's life when they finally understand that calmness is not weakness, nor is it passivity. It is not stepping back from life. It is not surrendering your power. Calmness, when understood correctly, is one of the most powerful energetic states you can access. It is the point where your inner world becomes coherent enough for the outer world to realign itself around your intention. It is the space where creation begins. When you learn to stay calm and let the universe deliver what you deserve, you are no longer reacting to life. You are shaping it. Calmness is a signal, a frequency, an energetic instruction that communicates to the universe that you trust the process of becoming, that you trust the intelligence that governs all things, that you are no longer trying to control, force, or manipulate outcomes from a state of lack or fear. Instead, you are aligning with what already belongs to you energetically. When you embody calmness, you are sending a message that says, I am already connected to the outcome. I am not separate from what I desire. I am in harmony with it. And the moment your inner world reflects that coherence, the external world can finally respond. This is where transformation begins, not when you push, but when you allow. There is a powerful relationship between your emotional state and the electromagnetic field you're broadcasting into the world. Your thoughts create electrical signals. Your emotions create magnetic fields. Together, they form the frequency that determines what you attract and what you repel. When your mind is scattered, anxious, or filled with doubt, your field becomes incoherent. It sends mixed instructions into the quantum field. It essentially says, I want this, but I don't believe it will happen. Or, I'm trying to create this, but I'm afraid it won't come. And so, the universe receives confused signals. But when you are calm, centered, and emotionally still, everything begins to synchronize. Your brain and heart enter coherence. The two most powerful oscillators in your body start communicating in harmony, amplifying your signal into the field. Instead of noise, you send clarity. Instead of tension, you send alignment. Instead of fear, you send trust. This is why calmness is not passive, it is creative. When your brain and your heart become coherent, your energy expands. Your electromagnetic field grows stronger. You influence the environment around you in ways you cannot see with your physical eyes, but can deeply feel. And what begins as an inner shift soon becomes an outer rearrangement. Calmness is the place where the mind stops fighting. It is the moment where urgency dissolves and doubt no longer has a place to stand. You are no longer trying to survive your life. You are participating in its creation. Think about how much of your energy gets wasted when you are in a state of urgency. Urgency is a message that says, I need this now because I don't believe it will come later. Urgency sends a signal of lack, of fear, of unworthiness. It tells the universe you are not ready, you are not trusting, and you are not in alignment with the very thing you are asking for. Calmness, on the other hand, is a declaration of faith. When you are calm, your body enters a state of physiological balance. Stress hormones lower. The survival centers in your brain quiet down. Creativity increases. Intuition opens. You shift from a narrow focus, where all you see is the problem, to an expanded awareness where solutions become visible. Calmness is not merely an emotional preference. It is a biological advantage. It changes your chemistry, which changes your energy, which changes your reality. This is why calmness is the gateway to receiving. The moment you let go of the tension, the moment you stop forcing outcomes, the moment you stop mentally rehearsing fear-based scenarios, that is the moment the universe can finally deliver what has been trying to reach you. Imagine holding something tightly in your hand. Your fist is clenched. Your muscles tense. Your energy contracted. Nothing can be placed in that hand as long as it is closed. But the moment you release the tension, the moment you open your palm, you create space for something new to be placed there. This is the energetic truth of calmness. Surrender is not losing control. It is releasing resistance. It is creating space for the new to arrive. When you surrender your urgency and your doubt, you create a vacuum that the universe naturally fills with possibility. This is why the calmest people often appear to manifest effortlessly. It isn't luck. It isn't coincidence. They are simply not blocking the flow with nervousness, fear, or overthinking. They are open enough, aligned enough, and trusting enough to receive what is already on its way. Calmness shifts you into a new dimension of awareness. You begin to see that life is not happening to you. It is responding to you. You stop reacting from old emotional patterns and start responding from a place of conscious creation. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop doubting and start allowing. The entire universe is built on frequencies, and calmness is one of the highest frequencies of all. It is the frequency of alignment. It is the frequency of receptivity. It is the frequency of knowing that you are guided, supported, and deeply connected to what you deserve. When you are calm, you access creative intelligence. You feel the difference between acting from fear and acting from clarity. You begin to notice the subtle signs the universe sends, the synchronicities, the intuitive nudges, the ideas that arrive out of nowhere. These signs are invisible when you are in stress, but they become obvious the moment you relax. Calmness is the doorway to intuition. When your nervous system is balanced, when your emotional state is stable, when your mind is quiet enough to listen rather than react, you become a receiver for higher guidance. You begin to experience life from a place of flow rather than friction. You begin to sense what is right for you without overthinking. You begin to trust the impulses that come from your higher self, rather than the fears that come from your past. This is emotional stillness, the space where wisdom rises. People often confuse calmness with inaction. They think calmness makes them indifferent. They think it means you don't care about your desires. They think calmness is surrendering your dreams. But calmness is the exact opposite. Calmness is the recognition that your desires already exist in the quantum field. They are not ahead of you. They are not separate from you. They are waiting for you to match the required state of being. You don't receive what you want because you force it into existence. You receive it because you become the person who is aligned with it. Calmness is the emotional signature of someone who is already connected to the outcome. You don't need to beg the universe. You don't need to prove you are worthy. You don't need to fight your way into your future. You need to align. The calm person is not inactive. They are energetically precise. They know that controlling the outer world is impossible, but controlling their inner world is deeply achievable. They understand that the outer world is simply a mirror of the energy they emit, and so they choose their state first. They choose calmness, not because it is easy, but because it is intelligent. You cannot create a beautiful life from a stressed mind. You cannot manifest abundance from a fearful heart. You cannot build a new reality while holding on to the emotions of the old one. Calmness dissolves old emotional patterns. It disrupts the autopilot of worry, fear, and doubt. It breaks the cycle of reacting to life the same way you always have. This is why calmness is transformative, because it is the doorway to a new emotional identity. And your emotional identity is the foundation of everything you attract. When you stay calm, you become aware of your power. You realize that your thoughts are not random. Your emotions are not accidents. Your energy is not insignificant. You see that everything you project is a form of communication with the quantum field. Calmness is the message that says, I am ready. I am aligned. I am available for what is meant for me. And it is only from this state that the universe can deliver what you deserve. Remember, the universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your energy. You can say you trust, but if your body is filled with tension, the message is contradictory. You can say you are ready, but if your emotions are anchored in fear, the field receives a different instruction. Calmness removes all contradiction. It makes your desire and your emotional state match. It brings your thoughts and feelings into harmony. It creates coherence. And the universe responds to coherence with remarkable precision. This is why the moment you become calm, situations start shifting. People appear. Opportunities open. Solutions arise. The path clears. Life reorganizes itself around your new frequency. You didn't force it. You didn't chase it. You simply aligned with it. And because of that, it could finally come. So stay calm. Stay open. Stay aligned. Release the urgency that keeps you out of the present moment. Release the doubt that disconnects you from what is already yours. Release the fear that blocks the flow of receiving. Calmness is not the absence of action. It is the presence of alignment. When you choose calmness, you choose to work with the universe, not against it. You choose clarity over chaos, trust over fear, coherence over confusion. You choose to live in a state where what you deserve can finally reach you. And the universe always responds to the person who is emotionally ready to receive. Stay calm, stay open, and allow the universe to bring what already belongs to you energetically. When you finally understand that calmness is not passive, but a powerful signal that aligns you with what already belongs to you energetically, you naturally come to the next realization. The more you try to force life, the more it resists you. And the moment you stop pushing, stop gripping, stop controlling, life begins to move in your favor. What calmness opens, surrender accelerates. The truth is that many people have been conditioned to believe that effort alone creates results, that pushing harder makes things flow, that controlling every detail leads to success. But the universe does not respond to force. It responds to frequency. And forcing is the energy of fear, scarcity, and survival. When you try to force an outcome, your body tightens, your breath shortens, your mind races, your nervous system shifts into contraction. The energy field around your body becomes chaotic, narrow, and incoherent. In that state, you cannot receive clear guidance. You cannot see new opportunities, and you cannot access the field of infinite possibilities that surrounds you at every moment. Forcing is the emotional signature of a person who believes they are separate from what they desire. You cannot force what is already yours. You can only align with it. This is why forcing always feels hard, because you're working against the natural flow of life, not with it. When you look closely at the moments in your life when things felt stuck, heavy, and difficult, you will almost always find the same pattern underneath: resistance. And resistance is not just a mental habit, it is a physiological state. It shows up in your body long before you notice it in your mind. Your shoulders tighten, your jaw clenches, your stomach contracts, your heartbeat becomes irregular, your chest feels closed. Your energy field reflects this contraction. Instead of radiating outward, your energy pulls inward. It collapses. It tightens. It becomes the frequency of limitation. And in that state, no matter how much you push, how much you think, or how much you worry, nothing flows. Resistance is the opposite of creation. Forcing outcomes is a survival response, not a creative one. Survival is about controlling the external world to feel safe. Creativity is about aligning the internal world so the external world reorganizes around you. In survival, you try to push the river. In creation, you learn to flow with it. When your nervous system is in stress, your body believes you are under threat. It doesn't matter if the threat is a real danger or simply your fear of the future. The chemistry is the same. In this state, the brain becomes incoherent, the heart becomes dysregulated, and intuition becomes silenced. There's no space for synchronicity because your energy is closed. Forcing is what you do when you don't trust. You force because you fear things won't happen unless you make them happen. You force because you secretly believe you're alone. You force because you think your timing is better than the universe's. You force because your mind is living in the old story, the story where you have to struggle to receive. But life is not moved by pressure, it is moved by openness. When you finally let go, when you stop gripping outcomes so tightly, when you allow space to return into your energy, something extraordinary begins to happen. Life starts sending you possibilities you could not have created through force. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is giving the universe room to work. Synchronicity is the language of alignment. It is how the field communicates with you when you are open enough to listen and relaxed enough to receive. Synchronicities cannot find you when you're tense, stressed, or energetically contracted. They arise when your nervous system moves from survival into trust. The moment trust enters your body, your energy starts expanding again. Your chest feels lighter. Your breath deepens. Your awareness widens. Your brain and heart begin to synchronize. And you shift from reaction into intuition. This is where flow begins. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you stop blocking what was always meant for you. Life flows when you flow. When you stop forcing outcomes, you create emotional spaciousness. Spaciousness is what allows new opportunities to emerge. Just as water cannot fill a container that is already clenched shut, life cannot deliver what is yours until you open. Think of a river. It doesn't push. It doesn't force itself around rocks. It doesn't panic when it encounters a bend in its path. It simply moves, flows, adapts, and continues. Its power is not in rigidity. It is in fluidity. Water is soft, but it shapes canyons. It is gentle, but it carries immense force. It flows because it doesn't resist. When you learn to embody that fluidity, you stop fighting reality and start moving with it. You learn the difference between inspired action and desperate action. Desperate action comes from fear, from the belief that if you don't act now, everything will fall apart. Inspired action comes from alignment, from the knowing that the right step will reveal itself at the right moment. Desperate action feels heavy, chaotic, forced. Inspired action feels clear, empowering, effortless. Desperate action drains you. Inspired action energizes you. Desperate action is noise. Inspired action is signal. And the only thing that shifts you from desperate action into inspired action is your state of being. When your energy relaxes, your nervous system resets. When your nervous system shifts into trust, the world around you responds. Life begins to organize itself in ways you cannot predict or control. The people you need appear. The resources flow. The ideas come. The timing becomes perfect without you micromanaging the process. This is what happens when you stop forcing, because you finally allow the universe to move. Flow is natural. Force is learned. Children don't force life. They play. They explore. They follow curiosity. They flow with what is in front of them. Adults, on the other hand, have learned to tighten, control, and panic. They have learned to distrust the unknown. But the unknown is where all possibilities exist. When you release the need to control the unknown, you open the door to a future that is greater than anything your old mind could imagine. The nervous system holds the key to this transition. When you shift from stress to ease, from contraction to openness, your entire energy field recalibrates. Your electromagnetic field expands. Your intuition strengthens. Your awareness sharpens. You begin to sense the rhythm of life rather than fight it. And in that rhythm, everything becomes easier. You begin noticing synchronicities. The right book at the right time. The unexpected conversation that opens a new door. The opportunity that appears out of nowhere. These are not accidents. They are confirmations that you have stopped forcing long enough for life to catch up with you. You see, forcing keeps you anchored in the past.
Flow moves you into the future. Forcing keeps you repeating old emotional patterns. Flow allows you to embody new ones. Forcing keeps your identity small. Flow expands your identity into possibility. When you stop forcing, you stop broadcasting the vibration of fear. Fear says, "I don't trust life." Fear says, "I need to hold on because something might go wrong." But trust says, "I am safe. I am supported. I am aligned." And trust is the frequency that opens every door. So stop forcing. Stop gripping. Stop trying to control what was never yours to control in the first place. Release the outcomes. Release the timeline. Release the need to know how it will all unfold. And instead, align. Align your energy. Align your emotions. Align your state of being. Because when you align, life stops resisting you. When you align, the universe stops withholding. When you align, what is yours begins to move toward you with effortless precision. Stay calm, stay open, stay in flow, and watch as life delivers what you've been trying to force all along.